He took us behind the scenes of that fateful night and how he is progressing 1 year later. So we're definitely on the ground speaking with residents. They're excited for us to be here. We're excited to be here. And of course, it's going to be a week of exciting stories. And I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds.
And we're looking forward to all of those special features this week. Ricardo, she mentioned this is the fishing capital now. Have you set up our fishing trippers yet?
I spoke to Robbie. And got that all sorted out. So we are good to go. We're not taking you far.
Oh.
I'm taking you out there in the back by where the cement boat is, where the yellowtails run. Before the sharks come in to start feeding, we're going to catch them.
I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. Well, that is just a preview of what is to come this week. When we come back, though, we speak with the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, MP Kingsley Smith, who is also the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry for Grand Bahama. We get his take on the island of Bimini, past, present, and future. Stay with us. Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas, is back in just a moment.
Ready for an unforgettable adventure? Yeah. Pack your bags because Bahamas Air is taking you straight to the heart of excitement. Raleigh, North Carolina. Discover the vibrant energy of Raleigh with its iconic landmarks, outdoor adventure, and an array of cultural events that will leave you captivated. Bahamas Air offers direct flights to Raleigh, where the possibilities are endless. Indulge your taste buds at local eateries. Shop till you drop at your favorite store, and immerse yourself in the lively entertainment hotspot. Visit www.bahamasair.com for more details and book your ticket to explore the wonders of Raleigh with our direct service connecting Freeport, Grand Bahama to the excitement of Raleigh. Your journey away.
You're watching Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas.
Welcome back to Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas. We are now joined by the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, MP Kingsley Smith. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You are no stranger to Bimini. You've been coming here since the 90s during your stint with BTC. Talk about how the island has progressed from then to now.
Yeah, so my father had a brother who was from Bimini, Citation Smith, and so as a young boy we would have visited every so often. But in the 1990s, working at BTC in the transmission department, we were responsible for the telecommunications backbone. And so we would have connected Bimini to 8 Mile Rock to provide the network, the telephone services. And so as a result, we had to travel to Bimini. And so I would have started, traveling back and forth to and from Bimini from in the late 90s and up to this time. And in doing so, they would have had homecoming and boat race and stuff like that throughout the years, and I still used to frequent at those times. And at those times, I would have met a lot of people, met a lot of friends who today we are good friends. And so even Cat Key, Ocean Key was also came under Butelco and providing services. So I spent a lot of time throughout the years.
Let's get right into it. You were elected in November through a landslide victory following the death of the Minister of Social Services, Broadcasting and Information, who was also the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini.
Right.
Who was Obie Wilchcombe, first of all, to you?
Knowing Obie Wilchcombe as a young boy, and you would have heard about him throughout the news. Knew his family grew up in West End. I born and raised in West End. And so his father and my father would have known each other extensively. And so after, getting more involved in politics, I get to know more about Mr. Wilchcombe and what he stood for. And one of the things that stand out is the love for the people and ensuring that their rights are well protected. And so when you talk about Bimini, right, a small island, this is one of the islands, he would have fought for to ensure that they had a part of the economic pie. But again, being elected in November, there's some more work to do. And I am here to finish and to help as best as we can some of those what he envisioned, right, is a long list.
Yeah.
And I would have wrote, it's such a long list. I wrote down exactly what he wanted for Bimini. And so just let me read some of what Obie's vision and plan was for Bimini, right? Obviously, enhance the infrastructure from a government standpoint, roads, et cetera, and then so you would have seen more recently the signing of the road contract with South Bimini, right? And so that's something that what he wanted to happen. Promote economic growth, improve quality of life for the residents, right? He focused on initiatives to boost tourism, being the Minister for Tourism.
Former Minister of Tourism.
Right? He did a lot of promoting Bimini and by bringing the tournaments, the basketball tournaments, the Junkanoo Jamboree. Junkanoo Jam at Gateway, right? He preserved the environment and expand educational opportunities on the island. And by doing so, there was languages. So tourism itself sponsored educational scholarships for languages. Some of them went to China. They went to do Spanish. All right. His dream was ambitious, obviously, and focused on empowering the island's youth, fostering sustainable development, and ensuring that Biminites played a leading role in shaping their own future. He aimed to create opportunities for Bimini's youth through language programs and sports initiatives with the goal of preparing them for leadership roles within the community and beyond.
You mentioned that his dream was ambitious, and I love how you put that.
Yes.
But when you look at the island of Bimini, where it was, I was speaking with someone just yesterday, Rick, and my sister-in-law who's visiting, and she said, when I was in Bimini 20 years ago, 30 years ago, so much has changed.
Yes.
A lot of the things that we see today were not here.
No.
We see the economic opportunities. We see Resorts World. We see these 2 mega cruises that are now coming in every so often to the island.
This morning, trust me.
And the former member of Parliament, George Wee, said to us, MP Smith, he said, if Biminites are not working, they probably don't want to work because the job opportunities are in abundance.
Right. So
the chance for economic opportunities and entrepreneurial opportunities are limitless. What do you say to that?
Right. So one thing we do note is that there's no shortage of jobs, right? And so when you talk about what Bimini was and what it is today, obviously you have Browns and you have Seacrest. Those were local resort and marinas, right? That sustained Bimini. Bimini being a fishing destination, being so close to Miami, only 50 miles. Great beaches, great waters, great fishing.
Just look, I'm looking at this screen, MP Smith. And for me, and I may get in trouble for this, Rick, but I don't think I've traveled to another island whose waters are as beautiful as Bimini. Now, I've been to Exuma. Exuma is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
I don't know what it is that keeps attracting me to the Bimini waters.
Every time I ride that Western Road, I always am amazed at that water. It's very beautiful. And you will notice on the good days, boats will run from Miami just for the day.
How long? How long does it take? What, 35, 45 minutes?
45 minutes an hour,
Wow.
depending upon the boat. Like my boat would only take me about 40 minutes. Kingsley's not
You got jokes
You
today.
can see the type of vessels they have now. You have 4 or 5 engines. And so those boats are taking 15, 20, 25 minutes
to run straight over.
Wow.
to get here.
Amazing.
And, it's just amazing. Again, what needs to happen now is we're trying to ensure that the Biminites own some of the economy and not just be workers, right? Not just be workers. They have a tourist product that is seeing an influx of tourists daily, especially with the expansion of the cruise ships. I'm advised that Carnival alone will call the port some 300 times this year, averaging over 2,000, 3,000 persons a trip. right?
Wow.
And I saw that this morning, because when the boat came in this morning, the golf carts,
Yes.
availability, bicycles, which a lot of the
Yes.
folks grabbed and just rode down into the village.
Right.
So they're going into the village and helping to motivate and make some things happen. And I
Yes.
think that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Not just to be up here in the resort, but to go into the village, have that one-on-one experience with the Biminites. And
Right.
that's what I saw early this morning.
Yes, it's outstanding, and the golf cart operators are making some good money out of it. Ahmed also advised that some 400 plus golf carts are rented per day once the crews are in. And so that is something that we must enhance and help those people even capitalize more and more on their golf cart rental. And also giving those other Biminites locals opportunities to expand their businesses or get into new ventures, right? So SPDC, agriculture, and the like. You noticed just recently in West End we had an entrepreneurial expo, right? Headed by the Ministry of Tourism with all those other stakeholders. And so we would like to do that in Bimini as well, to bring it to them, to see how best we can help them. It is great. Bimini economy is just moving, all right? And so we want them to be a part and owner. And you will see that with now the new development of the airport, right? The DPM would have signed a contract to redevelop the airport.
Yeah.
And so just last week, the developers had what they call a business mix-up, where they say what opportunities are available, contracts, and also employment. Or not employment, but vendors. You know, they want the locals to own the business that is coming in the airport. And I think that is very big.
This is an $80 million airport development.
Correct.
Speak to the importance and the significance of a project like this one to the island of Bimini, because while a lot of people come on the cruise ships, many people would like to take a flight,
Yes.
come here at Resorts World and spend a few days. And we've already seen where Bimini is holding its own, one of the
Yes.
leading islands when it comes to tourism. What's the significance of this airport to this island?
It is significant because what happened, right? The cruise industry is bringing some 8,009 million plus persons per year. So they stop at your destination for a few hours. You see what you have to offer. That is our time
Right.
to showcase what we have, woo that tourist to come back to stay, right? To spend some time on the island. And so having an airport, a major airport, that could not only hold the biggest airlines, right? You also want to provide safety, etc. All right? And so we know they come in by boat. We know they come in by cruise, but they're not staying. But as you can see as well, when the days are good, there are a lot of boaters in port.
Right.
Right? But now, for an airport that now you could fly, it is just... I'm excited because I see the potential, the amount of persons now who will remain on the island for a few days.
And when is construction expected to happen?
In the next few months, I'm advised. In the next few months. All right.
When you mentioned that airport, what first thing popped in my head was the fact that we had to pass by Bimini Sands, and that's a new name now. So now you'll get that touristic appeal to South Bimini. And we're seeing now the growth and development in South Bimini, as
Right.
you're seeing here in North Bimini.
Right.
So both islands now will benefit greatly from the expansion and the development of that airport over there.
And in addition, North Bimini land, access to land is little to none right now. So we're having a land issue in Bimini, and so we need to expand over to the south and make it more accessible, because you have the ferry service. The ferry service only takes it ends at a certain time in the night, and so we want to be able to ensure that you could get back and forth. Even though it's only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Sometimes people will look at it as if they actually taking a flight to go somewhere else, only just going to South Bimini. Right? It's tremendous.
Let's talk about, before we wrap up and get into your vision for the area, domestic tourism, and we'll have a representative from tourism here sometime throughout the week. But, you know, as Bahamians, we want to come and explore an island like Bimini. Staying here at Resorts World, I feel like I'm in a whole, well, this is paradise. The Bahamas is paradise.
Yes.
But it's not affordable for people to come and travel to these islands. So what is being done, if you can speak, and I know you don't want to preempt tourism, but how important is it for us to be able to travel and visit islands like Grand Bahama, like Bimini, and the other islands throughout the country?
No, it's very important. Unfortunately, with a market like Bimini, right, you're not able to get a rental apartment anymore because it is more lucrative to put that in the Airbnb market, right? And so again, being a small island with not much land access,
but not to visit, you know. I mean, not to live. I'm talking about domestic tourism,
right.
being able to stay.
Right. And so those prices, those units now are fetching a high price. So now you're looking at airfare. You're looking at the costs. How do we bring that down? That's something we have to look at. That's something we definitely have to look at, because when there's any function happening in Bimini, people want to come.
Right.
And you know, in March is the homecoming, major event. All right, if you ever attended one of those, you could see.
We attend quite often, right?
Listen,
we put that on your plate for us to be back.
We plant a tree in Radio Beach,
right? And so I attended the past few years. I make that something I always attend, and of course you can see the magnitude of it. Not enough accommodations. So these are the plans now to provide opportunities. And one of the things I'm hoping to do is put together a team, all right, to bring parties together who would like to get into that industry, you know, that the rooms, the hotels, the resorts, locally. That's what we need, more inclusion of local ownership. All right? And that is what we're seeking to do.
Before we wrap up, you talk very passionately and openly about the late minister's vision for the island. What do you see during your tenure? What do you want for this island?
Right. I see a great potential. Obviously, again, my basis, first of all, is deal from the foundation, and that's from an educational standpoint. Right? We want to ensure that from preschool come up, you're properly trained, you have the tools to do so. We want to be able to, because what's happening now is that there are no facility in Bimini for tertiary education. And so even if you leave the island, right, the question is, do we come back? And so we're seeing a brain drain, all right, people staying abroad, all right? So we want to ensure that, hey, if you own the economy, then you have a reason to come back, right? Again, the coastal lines, the sea, we need seawalls. We need to restore our coastline. We need to protect it. It's eroding, especially on the west side. Radio Beach Head, I think that will be north of the island. All right, so some of the plans that are install the seawall, build a seawall to protect the coastline. Again, expand education. We want to ensure. One of again, what I'm trying to do in Western and in Bimini is a sporting association, development of sports, development of the talents of the youth, because we see what Bahamians are doing today internationally. So
and many of them come from Bimini.
Yes, a lot of them. So if we put these programs in place, now you have the opportunities to gain scholarships to go abroad, and hopefully they'll have an impact to the island and motivate others to do so. All right? So the goal is encourage Biminites to own your economy. We're going to help by providing them the necessary resources from the government agencies to show them how it's done.
You'll be back on either Thursday or Friday. We hope that you'll come back and talk to us a little more in depth about the island of Bimini. On Friday now, Ricardo has promised me by Friday he's going to put together a fishing trip for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to.
And he better make it sure it happens because I've never fished in Bimini before. And I love the water.
She wants to, I told Robbie we can take about where the sinking concrete boat is.
Yes.
You know, right around there. The sharks on the west side, the yellowtails on the east side. So we can try to work that out.
Well, let's hope, Shoshana, that the weather is good. It's permitting.
Once the weather is
Yeah, we can be all right.
Thank you so much. Any final words you have for us today?
I mean, again, I just want to thank ZDS for coming, highlight this beautiful gem we have in Bimini. It's always good that we can highlight all of our islands. You know, one of the things I would have said recently in the House of Assembly with this crime issue is that Nassau is not the Bahamas.
Yes, that's
right?
important to say.
Absolutely.
And I would have asked the Deputy Prime Minister as the Tourism Minister to do more again, to highlight even more our family of islands, to let them know that this is a destination that there are other destinations throughout the country. And most of these islands now have direct flights. So you don't even have to step foot in Nassau, right? But collectively we must help what is happening in Nassau.
And listen, when I saw the 2 seaplanes came in this morning,
Yes.
and folks came off of that full, when I saw the cruise ship come in this morning, and then yesterday I saw Valeria come in here.
Doing well.
I'm like, holy smokes.
They're doing well.
They're doing well. And folks walking around having a good time.
You should
Safely.
be around. You should be around when spring break. Then you will see something.
Yeah.
I was here when we had the New England Patriots cheerleaders came to do their photo shoot and come down. I asked my owner to bring the Carolina Panthers cheerleaders. I tell them, that's okay, y'all stay where y'all live. Get in trouble.
Finally, MP Smith, 49ers, Chiefs, or Dolphins? Which one? Because there's really no other team at this point in the NFL. Which one?
None for me.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
a Denver Broncos
Oh,
fan.
my Broncos. You're with LaWanda.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, thank you so much for being with us and making yourself accessible. We really and truly appreciate it. Stay with us. When we come back, who could forget the devastating fire that happened just last year? We speak with Pastor Oral Ellis and his family about what the rebuilding process looks like. Stay with us. Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas, is back right after this.
Ready for an unforgettable adventure? Pack your bags because Bahamas Air is taking you straight to the heart of excitement. Raleigh, North Carolina. Discover the vibrant energy of Raleigh with its iconic landmarks, outdoor adventure, and an array of cultural events that will leave you captivated. Bahamas Air offers direct flights to Raleigh, where the possibilities are endless. Indulge your taste buds at local eateries, shop till you drop at your favorite store, and immerse yourself in the lively entertainment hotspot. Visit www.bahamasair.com for more details and book your ticket to explore the wonders of Raleigh with our direct service connecting Freeport, Grand Bahama to the excitement of Raleigh. Your journey awaits.
Good morning again. Inbound. Service I-58.
I compared to valet parking. Throw us the keys and tell us to drive it into the port.
Just being able to operate not in the operator's chair was a big difference for us.
We work very closely with the harbor. It starts there and it ends here. It is a male-dominated industry, and doors have opened up for me and most of the women here because of the opportunity.
These are one of the machines that we maintain, make sure that it's safe for our people. This is what we do. This is our bread and butter.
Our team meets every challenge head on. I've just loved seeing and being a part of the growth and the development of our team and Team Freeport.
the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investment. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
You're watching Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas.
Welcome back to Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas. Again, I'm joined by Ricardo Lightbourne and our very own Asher Quant. Moving on now, it was a devastating story of fire that left 11 persons displaced last year. Our Asher Quant was on the beat last year, and again, you've had an opportunity to visit with Pastor Oral Ellis and get an update on their situation here on the island of Bimini. Truly, when I see this story, it is a story of community and a story of rebuilding. Share a little bit about what he has been able to talk to you about.
Well, you said devastating, but honestly, Pastor Ellis had such a positive outlook to that situation. Of course, it happened on March 26, 2023, and just 1 year later, he is able to just talk about it, and he talks about how he's moved past it. But what was so interesting for me was how the community was able to just come together and assist those 11 displaced persons. But of course, he's going to tell you all about it right here in this next piece. So again, I mean, Pastor Ellis, he was so inspirational, and of course he'll be on later on in this program to just talk about how even the day of, he prayed. He was supposed to have Bible study the next day. And so he really did not let that stop him, and the community didn't let it stop them.
We heard earlier, again, from the Member of Parliament, Kingsley Smith, Ricardo, talking about the power of Bimini, the power of community, persons pulling themselves together. We have a lot of persons even on our line cheering us on and cheering on the island of Bimini. So many things to do here. Such a small island, but it's such an impactful island, and it's a family-oriented kind of place.
Always has been and always will be. From the first time I came here, it was a unique experience in terms of coming here to play baseball and then turn around and now see where we are today. There have been some things that's happened here, even with, if you go back to the chalk crash and how the community came together to support the families. But that's what it's been like.
Yes.
That's what it's been like here.
And Rick, he spoke about that in the piece that we're about to see right now.
Walk outside and I look at it. It was, I turned my back. I said, that's a done deal.
In the early hours of March 26, 2023, Pastor Oral Ellis, a resident of Porgy Bay community in Bimini, was awakened by the sounds through his two-story home. Little did he know this would mark the heartbreaking end of a 43-year chapter in his life. At approximately 5 a.m., Pastor Ellis emerged from his bed to investigate the unusual noises.
I was hearing the sound every so often, but I lived in a house for 43 years. So we wouldn't presume a fire just by hearing a sound.
But after some time, he was reawakened.
Made a loud sound, went boom!
Prompting him to make his way outside of the home to see what was happening.
And when I looked upstairs, my master bedroom, that was totally engulfed.
As the flames continued devouring memories and possessions, the local pastor immediately went back inside to gather his important belongings.
My wallet, my keys, my glasses, and my telephone. That was all I was able to get out.
Soon, a wave of concerned residents flooded the scene. The battle against the merciless inferno became a collective effort as Biminites rallied together.
All we had was a garden hose the neighbor was using and trying to fight it. Upstairs was already all gone. and it was already now downstairs, so I just walked right down by my father's house, the house that we born and grew up in, and there's a chair always on the porch, at the kitchen door, and I sat there.
Amidst the chaos, gratitude and resilience emerged in Pastor Ellis, who expresses a heartfelt appreciation to the many individuals who had rushed to his aid.
My house would have been right in this area. Imagine 40 feet east and west, and about 20 feet north and south. Two-story building. I've been there for 43 years. Thank God for friends and families who would have assisted me into so that's where I'm staying today.
Welcome to our show, Pastor Ellis. Truly an inspiring story. Even while you are still in the midst of rebuilding, we see where you are such an inspiration to so many persons, like Asha would have said. But take us back to the day when your home of, I think you said 60 plus years, was destroyed.
Yeah, I was born in that same yard. And then I built in that yard. I was in the house for 43 years. Yeah, so everything that we would have earned and everything that we would have accomplished within that time was in the house. There were Olympic gold medals, junior Olympic gold medals. My daughter, Miss Bimini, little Miss Bimini, my granddaughter, Starlight Crown, and my oldest son, wrestling champions, and high school back-to-back champions in Miami in football, and my wedding pictures and ordinations and everything was in the house.
You know, when with such a devastation, because I'm a survivor as well of a fire, there are some things that you can't even put a price tag on. Some of the things like you would have mentioned, those things that cannot be replaced. Does it give you a different outlook on life as a result of what has happened?
It not only can't put a price on it, there are some things that you don't even remember what went down in the fire until it comes to sometimes when you are asked of certain questions. Then you remember, say, oh, that too, gone down in the fire. But, you know, life goes on, and only the strong survive. You got to be strong. And so what kept me was that, you know, knowing Jesus Christ as my Lord, He gives you a peace that surpasses all man's understanding. When I got out of the fire, I realized that the house was a done deal, so there was no need for me to get upset or in a panic. I just walked away and said, well, so long.
11 persons were displaced as a result of that fire back then.
That's correct.
How are those other persons doing at this point?
I still feel for them daily. It's, you know, I don't know how they're going to get out of this. Fortunately for me, my son were building a fourplex, and he had given us one of the plex before the fire, some 2 years ago, for us to finish, to have an income as seniors for our retirement. We were unable to do that. But because of the fire, we were driven to do that. And I had spent some $40,000 in trying to replace or rebuild a one-bedroom apartment, and that was foundation, walls, and roof. And it cost me about $40,000 and still not completed to this date. So for those who got to go in the ground and who are less fortunate, that I would say, I don't know how in the world they're going to do it.
You are praying, man, and praying for people to get over this scenario is very, very important. Very, very important. And I know people call you and you pray for them, and people have been asked to pray for you. Do you take solace in that?
You know, my thing is, I live by two scriptures. One is Romans 8:28. And I believe that everything we go through in life has a purpose. And the purpose is not about us. The purpose is about God. So whatever the purpose is that God has in it, I believe part of it has already been accomplished. And so when people, as for instance, I have a store, and when the guests come into the store and they, some people talk about how rough a day they had and all like that, and then it gives me an opportunity to inject my experience. And when they hear that, then they pause, and they're like, wow. I had a couple that was from Atlanta, lost their luggage on a flight, and they came into my store to buy some replacement items. And when we talk about the fire, and she just started crying for me. And I told her not to. And, she came back about 3 months later. And she came by the store, visited me, and she brought some of her friends with her. And they told me about how the story had impacted their life secondhand. And so I know that God has been glorified out of that fire.
I remember seeing you sit in your vehicle during the time Zadanas was here.
Oh, you were there. Okay.
I wasn't there, but I remember watching the news story.
Okay.
And what I saw from you was someone who had lost everything, but you weren't hopeless. You, it seemed as if you didn't look like what you had just gone through. And even though you were saying, yes, I lost this, and these other persons lost that, you seemed as if you were going to be okay. And the community, I remember you thanking all of those persons who rallied behind you and everyone at that time. Talk about the importance of community, because this isn't the first tragedy that Bimini would have gone through, but the community sticks together.
Unfortunately, only in times such as tragedies, we come together and stick together. There are so many things that divides us. Is unbelievable if we were to go into things. Church divides us, sports divides us, politics divides us, and so much things that divides us. Unfortunately, only in times of tragedies and death we can really find the avenue to rally and come together. I wish we can do more. There are so much things that we can do if we would come together as a community. I expressed several times that, for instance, we have the mail boats, we have the airlines, and all of these things that comes in and out of Bimini that are beneficial, but we don't own anything. They are owned by other people from other islands. And I throw it out to us several times. If we can get 100 of us with $1,000, we've got $100,000. If we can come together with 1,000 of us with $100, and we can go to the bank, we got $100,000. We can demand they see us. We can invest in the mail boat. The government will give you the mail boat run, will subsidize that. You can take the proceeds from that, spin off, buy grocery, bring it back to the island, send it, sell it at minimal price, and then the proceeds from that you can buy washout. So much things we can do, but the mentality of the people is another story.
Yeah, and that's the power of not just community but also unity, coming together for the betterment of all. But there's a lot to also be proud of on the island of Bimini. Ricardo and I were talking earlier about the amount of persons, the sports athletes representing the Bahamas, many of them who would have come from Bimini, but representing us on a global stage. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's incredible to imagine the things that God has allowed us to accomplish on that stage. I'm the grand uncle of Kai Jones. And so that's one. Buddy Heel is family.
There you go.
Charles Chisholm is one of my neighbors. His families are one of my neighbors. And I got some others that are coming on. And VJ Valdez Edgecombe, number 5 ESPN high school player in America.
Amazing.
Yeah, he just signed at the school.
My grandson, he was the. He left 3 records in high school just last year. He's gone on to Florida State, full scholarship. for the triple jump. Yes.
Working with
and then my granddaughter, Labria Sands, who won the gold medal for Grand Bahama in the Bahamas Games, 14 years old. That's my granddaughter.
Wow.
She's just been forced out of the school that she was in to be a member now of Mount Verde Academy. That's the guy would beat VJ and those. They were ranked number one. They are number one in America, $54,000 a year private school, and they hauled her out of school with no overhead for us.
Amazing. Wow, what a blessing. Thank you very much. And of course, we want to wish you all the best in your rebuilding efforts. But I want to ask if you know a couple of these names. We have a number of persons on our live, and it seems as if many of them hail from the island of Bimini. We see Brian Riley saying, Bimini, my town. This is his Little Rock. Anita Hanna, as well as Nanette Conyers. She also says, Bimini, my hometown. It's plenty corn in Bimini. Glenda Miller, also on the live. We want to say thank you to all of you who are on and actively engaged on our Facebook platform. And then Karen Marsh, as well as Esther Stewart. And she says we need to continue to pray for the entire Bahamas.
Yes, we need your prayers, and I pray that we can be more sensitive to each other. Unfortunately for me, it took me to become a victim, to really understand that when a person goes through fire, they're not just a number, but they're actually people.
I completely agree with you. Thank you so much, Pastor Ellis, for being with us today.
I want to personally say thank you for the prayers.
For your wife?
For stay on my wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got for you praying for her.
Yeah, I got
water to my eyes.
Oh, wow.
I got a call from Natalie. She expressed and asked me, Natalie has been almost not as close to me as she is to you. But she called me up during Dorian at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, Pastor, I need you to pray and give a word of inspiration for Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama is in problem. She said, I hope you're not sleeping. This is not sleep and die.
Wow. Listen, you want to end the segment with tears in all of our eyes. I see Ricardo already watering up. And, of course, our special Natalie, who is, I understand when you all came on the plane the other day, the song that came on a couple minutes into the flight was The Goodness of God. And so that was Natalie's song, and we said, you know what? That's Natalie's way of telling us she's with us even on this special trip to Bimini.
You know, when the Honorable former Prime Minister Perry Christie had stroke, the Lord told me to call him up from my church service and pray for him. I said to the Lord, I'm FNM. And so he said, I want you to call him and pray for him. I called him, the Honorable Minister Neville Wisdom. He picked up the phone and said the Prime Minister said he can't hold the phone, but if it's okay to go on speaker. And we did that, and after which he told me that he one day would wish to come down to Bimini to see the church. That never happened, but he talked that story, and even to his PS, she told me that he talks about that story every day.
Amazing.
So God favors me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
And I always say anybody that's connected to me have favor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor Ellis. And of course, when we come back, Ricardo, they say Bimini is where luxury meets adventure. We're going to speak with the general manager of the beautiful, the luxurious Resorts World Bimini. That and so much more straight ahead. Stay with us.
You're watching Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas.
Health officials announced early on that the curve of the country
Join us for the rebroadcast of the 2024 Anthony Huck Williams Jr. Junkanoo Parade, Saturday, February 17th at 1 p.m.
Ready for an unforgettable adventure? Pack your bags because Bahamas Air is taking you straight to the heart of excitement. Raleigh, North Carolina. Discover the vibrant energy of Raleigh with its iconic landmarks, outdoor adventure, and an array of cultural events that will leave you captivated. Bahamas Air offers direct flights to Raleigh, where the possibilities are endless. Indulge your taste buds at local eateries, shop till you drop at your favorite store, and immerse yourself in the lively entertainment hotspots. Visit www.bahamasair.com for more details and book your ticket to explore the wonders of Raleigh with our direct service connecting Freeport, Grand Bahama to the excitement of Raleigh. Your journey awaits.
Good morning again. I compare it to valet parking. Throw us the keys and tell us to drive it into the port.
Just being able to operate not in the operator's chair was a big difference for us.
We worked very closely with the harbor. It starts there and it ends here. It is a male-dominated industry, and doors have opened up for me and most of the women here because of the opportunity.
These are one of the machines that we maintain, make sure that it's safe for our people. This is what we do. This is our bread and butter.
Our team meets every challenge head on. I've just loved seeing and being a part of the growth and the development of our team and Team Freeport.
Come to Bimini, oh please, come to Bimini. Come to Bimini, oh please, come to Bimini. Bimini, everyone's in the sun. Bimini, everyone's having fun. Come to Bimini, oh please, come to Bimini. Come to Bimini, oh.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreation.
An hour's show already.
Let me tell you something. When I come here to Bimini, I ain't gonna get no licking. I can just keep ticking.
Well, as he said earlier, as Forbes magazine puts it, Bimini is where luxury meets adventure. From we came here, that has essentially been our experience.
You know, it's been a wonderful ride for me, because I'll never forget when Capo brought the Latin builders from Florida here to have that pig roast on the beach. Me and Brando were here, and that's when this whole thing started. And then when Hercules came into the picture, and now look at it today.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
When I saw this was coming out of the ground and what they have today, listen, as soon as I hit the doorstep there, I was home. I know about you.
Listen, well, our Asha Kwan had an opportunity to speak with the general manager of Resorts World Bimini, and we delve a little deeper into this hotel property. And what is most interesting, Ricardo, is you have people from all over the Bahamas who have left their island to come right here to work at Resorts World Bimini. Asha, what do you have for us today?
Resorts World Bimini is making a transformative impact on the Bahamian workforce. Assistant manager here at the resort and industry expert Greg Stubbs is now shedding light on the resort's pivotal role in bolstering local employment opportunities for Bahamians in the country.
where I'm from.
Greg Stubbs, assistant manager at Resorts World Bimini, highlighting the resort's significant impact on employment for Bahamians. Formerly serving as the director and assistant director of food and beverage, Stubbs shares insights into the resort's commitment to providing chic and modern accommodations alongside a plethora of amenities.
When I first came in 2013, this wasn't here. We then had Vegetables Village, which you'll see down further at the front of the property. We were overseeing Aqua Grill. So all we had was the front of the end where we had the phase, which we called Bimini Bay. Then when it was decided when Resorts World came on board, they decided to build what we now see here in the Hilton. And it has been a wonderful experience since then. We have seen and employed so many more employees that came from the length and breadth of the Bahamas. And so it has been a great, great experience for us thus far.
Having been an integral part of the management team since 2013, Stubbs emphasizes the diverse opportunities available, particularly for those from Grand Bahama.
Being here in Bimini on a small island, we looked at opportunities first here. When we couldn't find those, then we had to go elsewhere. We began to look into Grand Bahama. We did several job fairs in Grand Bahama, and we were very successful. Unfortunately for Grand Bahama, because there was a downturn in their economy, we employed so many Grand Bahamians who were just eager and excited to be a part of this. I mean, I should hasten to say that 40 to 50% of our workforce comes from Grand Bahama.
Situated just 50 miles off South Florida's coast, on the island of Bimini, the luxury beachfront complex featuring the new Hilton at Resorts World Bimini, private condos and villas, has become a vital hub for locals seeking employment and a home away from home for the many Bahamians and international tourists.
Our busy period begins from the month of March, where we have a lot of spring breakers come over. That falls right in line to April, and then we have May, where we see the start of it all, the Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you very much, Aja. Joining us now is none other than the General Manager, Resorts World Bimini, Mr. Stubbs. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Just a little point of correction. I'm the Assistant General Manager.
Assistant General Manager.
I don't want to cause anything to be, cause no confusion.
Yeah, of course, no confusion. But let's start here before we get into the details of the resort and the property. We had an opportunity last night to visit the casino, and that is where we watched the Super Bowl, and we had such an amazing time. We noticed everyone who came, well, a lot of visitors who came in and who checked in, firstly, they came in their football gear. Ricardo had on his Panthers hat. I don't know why he wore that. I had on my Dolphins, and everybody else had on there either 49ers or Chiefs. So it was just an amazing atmosphere, including the staff, though. Your staff was just absolutely amazing. They were also dressed in costume, football gear, and they were so welcoming to everyone.
They were dressed for the occasion. So what we encourage our team members to do is to kind of blend in with whatever the occasion may be. You know, that was the climaxing of the football season with the Super Bowl. And they all fans of different teams, and we encourage them to just come, relax, enjoy themselves, and as much as they are relaxed, they can pass on that same kind of comfort level to all of our guests. And interestingly enough as well, we hosted our player development event last evening when we hosted Super Bowl. So you saw there was a huge mix of persons within the Hemingway's restaurant, and so that was a part of the player development. Our team that came in from South Florida to put on that event, and it was a great success for us.
When you enter this property from the front desk, you are greeted with just an amazing, warm embrace. We noted in your piece that you talked about persons coming from all over the Bahamas. This really is a diverse group, a very diverse team that you have here at Resorts World Bimini that kind of sets the tone and the atmosphere that you feel when you get here.
We boast of, interesting that you should mention that, simply because we have a little over 463 employees here at Resorts World Bimini, and about 60 to 70% of those team members hail from the island of Grand Bahama.
Wow.
One of the things that you see differently than any other resort here in the Bahamas is myself, along with Mr. Kurzman, Andrew Kurzman, who's the general manager, we always walking around. We are not office GMs or AGMs. We are intimately involved in the day-to-day operations of our property. And in so being, the staff and the team members, they get to see us, at every point of the operation, which means that if they have an issue or they have a problem, we are always available. And what that does is it puts people in a comfort zone, a comfort level, to know that if something comes up, if they need to speak, they don't have to make an appointment. They can just reach out, touch one of us, and say, if you have a moment, can I speak with you? And we certainly make ourselves available regardless of how busy we are. And that helps to ensure that our team members, who is the most critical part of any hotel, any business operation, because once those team members are happy, and we do the things that they're certain that they are comfortable, they have an air, they have a listening ear, and we listen to them, or they have a concern, we address it right on the spot.
Yeah, I like that because when we came in yesterday, we were very much so welcome, and just getting that feel is like, we want you to have yourself a great time when you're here on our property. And that's what the young lady said to me. I said, hold on, I was there before you. How can it be your property? But it was a very good feeling, a welcoming feeling.
Yes.
Then I saw when the folks came in from the Bel Area and they were checking in, that same kind of enthusiasm
absolutely
spilled over to them, and it was wonderful to see that yesterday.
We showcase hospitality at its best.
Yeah.
Here at Resorts World, and because we have these mass check-ins on the Wednesday and the Fridays and the Sundays. When Bel Area comes, our team members, they are in high gear. They're enthused, they're excited to see our guests, and they do so with welcoming arms. I think you guys get a better welcome reception because they're the ones that never say anything bad about them. And I'm certain the majority of the team members that are here, they know most of you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen them interacting with you through the course of your time here.
You know what's unique? When the young lady said to me, Mr. Lightwan, you grow me up. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, don't tell nobody else, okay?
Mr. Stubbs,
yes.
Resorts World Bimini it boasts of having one of the largest marina complex in the Bahamas, as well as it boasts of being the center of the sports fishing capital of the world. Mm-hmm. When you walk this property, Ricardo, you see the luxurious yachts coming in. Many of them, it seems, some may stay overnight, but some of them come in maybe for a day and then can go right back to Florida. I think Florida is, 50 miles from here?
50 nautical miles from South Bimini.
Amazing. Talk a little bit about the ventures that people take right here at Resorts World Bimini.
What's interesting about our property as well is our season for us doesn't kick off until after Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. We see a high level of boaters that comes our way. So beginning May through June, July, August, we have a huge boating group that comes and graces with their presence, and they've been coming here for many years. And they've been giving us tremendous support down here in Bimini. And you see, like you would have said, Shishina, the luxurious yachts and that graces our presence. They come in, they stop in for the day. And what is most important is these persons that come, they all familiar with our bartenders. You see them stop at the casino bar, and our bartenders know them by name.
Yeah.
They go to any one of our venues, and our team members know the most of them by name, so they feel comfortable. They're welcome with open arms, and when you have guests who feels comfortable, who are happy, just a little bit more extra spend.
There you go.
And that is what we're looking for.
Well, we thank you so much for being a part of our show today. Of course, you have us all week, and we don't have any problems visiting with the bartenders, the sushi chef, hanging out by the pool. There's so much for us to cover within this week, and of course throughout the week we have a number of your staff members who will also be a part of our show, and they will come in and they will help us to understand a little more or a lot more about your operation. So we say thank you so much, first of all, to Resorts World Bimini for partnering with us in this venture and having us here for the week to kind of showcase what you have to offer, as well as the island of Bimini by extension. Thank you so much.
The pleasure's all ours. So let us know if there's anything else that we can do to make your stay even that much more enjoyable.
Don't say that for LaWanda to hear. And that is going. And that's a look at our show for today, Bimini, the gateway to the Bahamas. Stay with us tomorrow, though. We have a special inside look at the tourism economy with Senator Randy Roll, as well as the impact from the cruise ships that come here and the tens of thousands of guests. Why Bimini? We'll tell you why tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with us, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Let me go down to Bimini. Never get a lick until we go down to Bimini. Bimini, y'all, is a hell of a yonder. Never get a lick until we go down to Bimini. Oh, let me go down to Bimini. Never get a lick until we go down to Bimini. West, northwest, take you straight into harbor. Never get a lick until we go.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.